Hello and welcome to Squishy Vision, where I have just finished watching the first two episodes of What If Season 3. What if the Hulk fought Mecha Avenger, and what if Agatha went to Hollywood? I think they are two pretty solid episodes. I appreciate the very kind of there was lots of joy. There was some things to kind of criticize. I did enjoy the buy-in on the mecha genre, the kaiju genre aspect of the first episode. You know, nothing complicated. Freak accident, gamma irradiated monster. It was your average kind of mecha anime stuff. It didn't go full into it. I don't know. I think I'm more familiar with mecha in terms of Power Rangers than I am anime. I did watch a few anime when I was younger that did have like mechs, but they were never the animes I watched a huge deal of. So like I know there's a whole genre of it, and that's not like Japanese mechs are not something I'm hugely kind of familiar with as like a genre. So that's fine. But I did enjoy it. Like I'm more familiar with Power Rangers point of view. There's still like plenty that come laying into there. It did have a lot of Pacific Rim kind of vibes to it, which obviously is American live action kaiju kind of stuff. So I can appreciate from that point of view. But it was a solid episode. It had a solid kind of theme that it by no means failed to kind of deliver. The thesis is basically, if you give people a chance, if you don't fear them, if you don't respect them as a person, that's a powerful way to show kindness, and that's the way in which ultimately Sam wins the day, is by getting over his own bigotry is a strong word in this context, but fears of kind of the whole Kambana, being forgiving and letting that forgiveness break the cycle of violence. It's a very I'm projecting a lot of themes here. It's a very kind of simple black and white morality. It's not going too deeply into examining that concept, but the thesis is available, and it's basically in fact it's a pretty deep, nice message to put into an episode, which is basically, hey, we want to do the Avengers mechs. I feel like it comes in a bit more, like we didn't hugely get a chance to kind of explore a lot of the details of these mechs, and I feel like a lot of the appeal of the mech genre is basically like the tech gore, the tech porn, like being able to basically see these robots move and look at the details and like their maneuvers and the way they transform and their features. I feel like that's a lot of the reasons why people get into that kind of a genre, and I don't think we really delivered on that. Like there's like, for example, when they all transformed, they all like kind of joined together into the super mech. We didn't hugely like focus on, like, if it was Power Rangers, there'd be a whole 2 to 3 minute sequence where we'd get the details, the exact details of how. Like, I remember watching the event at the Power Rangers, and then I remember buying the mech, the Megazord toys, and being very like, checking and being very particular to the details of how those toys put together. And there was like, I think I had the Power Rangers Jungle Fury Megazord, and there was one way which it combined, which wasn't exactly the way that they combined in the show, and that's because the show goes into very much extreme amounts of detail how these Zoids kind of combine, whereas like it was a very kind of brief sequence of them all joining up, and obviously it's a very short runtime, but I mean so is the Power Rangers, which is kind of how they get away with making it easily, because about a third of an episode's runtime is basically, you know, archival footage. But yeah, it would have been nice if we had more details on that. And like, we only really saw, we saw this one in the background, the Falcons, Captain America mech is the one that we saw in the most detail, and we didn't really see any other mechs in detail, and I guess there's lots of opportunity there. I think maybe if we spent more runtime on that, it would have been a much more pleasant mech episode, but it's fine. And then we got the second episode, which is What If Agatha Went to Hollywood. I'm not quite sure like where the appeal of this episode kind of came from. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying as like a concept idea, I wouldn't rate it particularly highly, but it was nice to kind of get Catherine Hayne to do more Agatha stuff after Agatha all along, and more Kumail to do Kingo stuff. I couldn't tell. There's an extended sequence where they do a dance sequence, and it's meant to obviously be ripping off both Western, musical dance sequences with a lot of like West Side Story, a lot of like tap dancing kind of sequences, and Bollywood dance sequences with a lot of like kind of exaggerated facial expressions and hand movements. But it was basically like they animated one person and then copy pasted it for like the other models, and I couldn't tell if that was cheap, lazy, or like deliberately satirical, and like that was the joke. I couldn't tell, because it was kind of both. It was like, I was like, this looks bad, it feels bad, it sounds underwhelming, but I'm kind of amused by that. Like it's like they were leaning into it, so I was giving mixed messages, as if I was meant to like basically appreciating whether or not that was what was happening. So that was weird, but other than that, I mean, it was a fun episode. It's obviously always fun to get Dominic Cooper back as Howard Stark. It delved in another kind of like solution, so to speak, of the Celestial, the middle of the Earth problem. It's obviously good to get the the Eternals back, because I don't think we've really had the Eternals be in the MCU since the Eternals in anything kind of meaningful fashion, except for like kind of like cameos. So it's nice to kind of get like that in the episode, even if it was just the one Eternal and the one Celestial. I still enjoyed it, and obviously it's Kumail's always a joy to kind of listen to. I wouldn't say that it was like everyone's best performance voice acting wise. It was passably good. Compared to 2 episodes, it's less strong. It has a less kind of like clear part. The resolution of I was expecting a twist to be, Kingo going like, surely you'd rather be loved than, or admired than feared. And I've being like, that's just an empty, like, weak sentiment. Of course I want the power. Or, leaning into the twist we get in Agatha all along about how, she's actually got this tragic sort of tragic backstory. And her not wanting to, like, disappoint the memory of her son. But we didn't lean into that either. So yeah, I mean, like, visually it was all kind of very odd, and I wasn't quite sure if I was meant to be impressed or not. I think it was trying to be funny and charming, and without kind of really nailing it, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was fine. It was fine. I think that's really my message there. So yeah, those are those are the first 2 episodes of What If. I suspect episode 3 will drop some point today. I know it's I think it's a road trip one between Winter Soldier and Red Guardian. So it's basically Thunderbirds, Thunderbolts Light that we're gonna get. So we'll watch that. It's 2 o'clock. Do I want to go to sleep? I want to play Helldivers because I've downloaded the game ages ago. I've not had a chance to play it yet, but I keep feeling I'm missing out. But might be a tomorrow thing or later on today thing. So, but I do kind of want a game. I do need to record my Wicked reaction video. Should I do that now? Could do that now. And then game tomorrow. Anyway, that's me to figure out. Thanks for tuning in. Get out of my house.